CIA. So Russia didn't invade. They were asked to help by the People's Democratic Party of Afghanistan to help fight the Mujahideen. And as I say, the CIA was funding. So American companies could steal, as Danielle says previously, Americans could steal the resources. Yeah, that definitely is like how I approached the war for the longest time. Like, I had a really cynical view of things. I'm not saying that that's a cynical view of things. I'm just saying that my view was very cynical. I was like, it's all for naught. It's just so pointless. They're all horrible and this, that, and other. And I did come to realise that's not the case. There was at least a lot going on over there, and a lot going on aside from the American intervention. There was definitely. It's a very destabilised country, and like the problem that I kind of have with a destabilised country and a rampaging military isn't the people on their own. If they was just to like do their own thing and not hurt no innocent people, which we obviously know they aren't going to do, but if they were just to keep to their own devices and just do themselves, then it wouldn't even be a problem, right? But we know that isn't going to be the case. Once I don't know what you call it. Is it like a proto-state or something? Like a faction, a guerrilla war faction like the Taliban, Al-Qaeda. Once they get into the place where they're in a government, and they've got like political power, this is where it starts to then turn into like North Korea-esque places, and possibly like then even more tyrannical places like we have seen in the last 100 years. World War II. So, like, with a little bit, people can really go far. And I don't know, it's a scary precedent to think about, right? But thank you, everybody, for the conversation, for your comments. I really appreciate everybody here, and I appreciate even more everybody is nice, kind, and respectful about this. Because we can... this can be incredibly sort of emotionally fueled and stuff, which is understandable. Again, like, it's understandable. And welcome, Lena. We have Lena in the building. What is up? Welcome to the show. Wonderful to see ya. Great to see ya. Great. The US is. The US is leaving a lot of people who helped them to kill the Taliban. Yes. To kill the US is leaving a lot of people who helped them to be killed by the Taliban. Yeah, Canada is getting many people out as they can and doing it, but can't do it fast enough. And that's my sore spot. The withdrawal was handled poorly, making a bad thing even worse, and we'll all live with the regret knowing that the globe kind of let it happen. Yep. I mean, they are trying, right? But it could definitely be argued it isn't enough. And the effort hasn't been anywhere near enough, like, by everywhere. Like, I've heard a lot of places, like, recently I think it was Joe Biden saying there's no more that we can do over there now. We're kind of done with, like, Afghanistan, which, honestly, in one vein, I really respect. Because, like, how cool that is that, finally they're kind of thinking like that. Or whatever. I guess it's good just to hear somebody say, no, maybe war's not the best idea, because you usually don't hear that. But it seems to be at a time where war, or at least helping over there, seems to be a good idea. Like, it's a really weird sort of spot, really. I've never been in the favour of war ever, like, honestly, unless it's like you're defending an invasion and it's obvious. Like, honestly, it's a difficult one. Sorry, I just need to get this. Yo, bro, you're live on stream. What are you saying, G?
To thank you for earlier, that's all.
Oh, bless you, bro. Don't you worry, my friend. Don't you worry. What are you saying? You all good?
Yeah. What are you doing? Are you on stream?
Yeah, streaming right now, bro. We're talking about the old carry on in Afghanistan. Why don't you come up here and get in on this? Get in on it.
Yeah. It's kind of mad what's happening over there, isn't it?
Fucking scary, mate. Scary.
Yeah, I'll get a shower and I'll pop on.
Alright, bro, no worries. Just ring me or ring Dara or whatever. They're all saying hey.
Hey.
What's up? Yeah, man, respect, bro. Give a shout.
See you soon.
Peace, bro.
Ciao.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Yeah, Aaron's had a bit of a shit morning this morning, like we literally all do. So thank you, man. Honestly, the greetings and the love is very much appreciated and felt like genuinely. Right, okay, back to comments. Yeah, so that's another thing, right? So the US, it seems as though the US are kind of like. I heard one sort of chap who seems to be a war veteran. I think it was on like BBC News. He basically mentioned exactly that, Lena, that he used exactly these words, that they've pulled the rug from under their allies and invited the Taliban in and said, fill your boots. That's literally what the guy said. And that's kind of what it feels like, which sucks. And then the kind of like, you know, letting, because what Aaron was telling me yesterday is that a load of like military equipment was over there in Afghanistan, obviously left with the Afghanistan government, who was allies or what have you, the government that's just fled and give it all to the Taliban. So now the Taliban, rather than having like these unguided RPGs that, you know, they're shooting backwards, they now got these rocket-guided javelins that you can, like, laser guide towards shit, and they've got, like, Humvees and stuff. Like, they have literally stepped up their game so much because they've taken all that shit back off the Afghan government, or something like that is what he was saying. But I've heard similar stories to that before. It wouldn't be a stretch. But yeah, I agree with that. Well, that's because America's a bunch of idiots. Yeah, well, Danielle is American, by the way, just for anybody that might be watching this in the foreseeable future. So she can say that. I don't think they wanted us there anymore. They should have handled it better. So that's a good point, Lena. Yeah, you are right. They definitely didn't want us there. The military presence was getting to the point where people were sick of it, and I'm sure that was a sentiment felt by, like, everybody, like, the people that was there, the civilians, the other people. But, yeah, this has been handled not very well. Right, let me make a cigar. This is getting me animated. It's getting me going, yes! Now this is working. Cool. I get the sentiment, but at the same time, if one country is left to do a job solo, then they're going to act in the best interest. Then they're going to act in the best interest. Obviously, we shouldn't be surprised. Any other country would have done similar. Yeah, I don't think as much as they were left in at least not a terrible position, the Afghan government. I don't think they was left in a great position. Like the Taliban, I think, knew what they were doing. I mean, it seems as though from what I've read myself. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. It seemed that there was an agreement between the US and the Taliban to basically, like stop the war, get peace, etc., etc., which then led to the subsequent leaving, the troops leaving Afghanistan, and then, which has then led to Afghanistan getting taken back over by the Taliban. So it seems like the Taliban have been thinking about doing this for a while, and they've kind of set it up basically, and like been like, yeah, like you lot leave now. We're totally cool. We are not gonna fight anymore. Like, we're actually all friends now. That you go, and then it's like when you were with your little sister or your brother as a kid. As soon as your mum leaves room, you start fighting again instantly, and that's literally what they've done, right? It's like, yeah, we're fine. We are not arguing anymore. You're all right to leave, and it's like straight back into it, and that's kind of what they've done. But rather than the sentiment being, okay, that's fucked up, let's go back in and tell them off again. America seems to be like, nah. UK seems to be like, nah, not more we can do. Which, I guess, but, like, what does that say about the 20 years that you've just spent there, then? Like, does that mean that you didn't do anything there? The mission wasn't accomplished, and it was basically a loss, and that's why you've left? Like, what? I don't really know where we're at, to be honest, and it's kind of scary. Completely true and fair, but getting involved in there in the first place for the best interest to keep the peace and make, but they changed their agenda to help themselves instead. It's shit, yeah. Sadly, it wasn't the US alone. USA, Britain, Canada, Australia, Italy, New Zealand, and Germany. Wow. Does the Taliban have any allies? Are they working with any of Afghanistan's neighbours? I have heard that, at one point, you could go into places like Pakistan. The Taliban were basically fighting in Afghanistan, which was a really harsh sort of landscape. Then when like shit hit the fan effectively and they needed to like chill out, they'd run over to Pakistan, which was a peace zone, and then they were allowed to just come and go. But Pakistan have since built a fence which is supposed to kind of contain that. So I don't know. I don't think they have any allies. They are largely seen as a terror organisation. But now they're in a government seat. They literally have taken the government palace or whatever the hell they call it. Like, they are in power now over there. So what's stopping them from making friends with North Korea and then having access to nukes? Like, I don't want to be that guy, but what is to stop that from happening, right? Like, what are we really going to put the moral obligation in the hands of somewhere like North Korea or something? Like, really? I think it needs nipping in bud before it gets to that point, but we're sadly already nearly at that point by the looks of things. If you're gonna get involved, you must follow through. That's true though, right? Like, I'm sure most people didn't want the war in the first place, but we went over there, so like, do what you were supposed to do. I can feel that. I can, yeah. You must think about repercussions. You think about them, the cause and effect. Screw capitalism, yeah. I think the initial intention was always under a guise, to be honest. Yeah, granted, I'm a cynic. No, I don't think that's fair. But I can't see any country making that big of a decision and investment. Yeah, very true. Would do so without planning a huge game for themselves. Absolutely true. I actually heard a quote. I think it was in this thing that I was reading here. So he literally says, there you go. Look, we didn't go to Afghanistan to nation build. Like, okay, so what the fuck were Halliburton doing over there? What were you doing over there? Like, what were it if it want to nation build? Like, so they kind of really are going back on a lot of the stuff they said. Like, because I'm sure at one point it were like all about peace and love, bro, and this, that, and other. So, But no, you're right though. I honestly, war is sadly a profitable business, and I agree with you, Georgia. There, I do, and I don't like to sound like a cynic myself, but it is true. And yes, it's Pakistan, Turkmenistan, Saudi Arabia. Recognise the legitimacy of the Taliban government. So Turkmenistan's bordering it. That's very scary. The Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Pakistan. Is it Iran? And that might be it. I don't know. But yeah, that's quite scary because Turkmenistan, I think, is a bordering country. So if they're friends with them, then that's already getting scary. We started this war with childishly simple plans and expectations. Yep, exactly. So why did they start with their lies in the first place? Yes, it's true. I'd rather America say, hey, we are going to go kill people for no reason so we can overcharge you for oil prices, rather than feed me lies. Just tell me what, yeah, don't lie. I mean, come on, America. Yeah. Figure Saudi Arabia would be one. Oh, damn, okay. On GMA, there was a story about an Afghan-American family that are stuck over here right now, okay. Agreed, I'm with you. I'd expected to be effed about, but do me the courtesy of not doing it behind my back. Right. I think we all knew this wasn't going to end beautifully. Very true, yeah. Exactly, kids shouldn't be waging wars, so true. Bordered by Pakistan to the east and south, Iran to the west, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan and Tajikistan to the north, and China to the northeast. That's right. Thank you, spam, appreciated. So yeah, there's a few there that, you know, they could possibly sway, I guess. Come on, gang, can't wage a bullshit war without lies in it, right? I mean, who the hell's gonna believe us? And I mean, yeah, I think a lot of people are kind of getting maybe the same realization as I am, that quite possibly we have definitely been lied to. Like, maybe at this point this is kind of proof that it was all a little bit of a flipping mess about. Like, and it's so sad to say because there has been so many lives lost. Like, any war, it's not good, it's sad, it's scary, it's not cool. Yeah, it all started with the whole 9/11 and the weapons of mass destruction, which was BS. Yep, and it's not that's not even a conspiracy theory, which I got told when I was back preaching that back in the days that it was, and it isn't. They didn't find any weapons of mass destruction, did they? So yeah, like, so it is messed up, man. It is, and I'm glad everybody feels that same sentiment. Like I am glad to hear that. People are having somewhat of a visceral reaction to this, like myself. I don't feel as unreasonable now, because yeah, like I'm really sort of torn on this one, because like I say, never been a time where I would want to send people into like a horrible situation in a war or whatever. It should always be a very, very last resort. And I mean, you maybe could argue that it's a last resort now, but is it really? Like, I mean, is it though? I mean, I don't know what other resorts are there at this point other than to actually recognise these people. But for the last 20 years, we have had drilled into our heads are just terrible people. These are the people that blew up the trade centres, man. Like, aren't they? You know, Al Qaeda, the Taliban, all this same shit, right? So, like, what, now we're going to recognise them as a government, or we're not going to recognise them as a government, but we're just going to let them be a government over there until they're inevitably... Like, what is the end game here, man? It's kind of scary, man. Like, honestly, like, truth up, human to human, this shit is scary. Like, it truthfully is. I mean... who knows what like these people really are capable of? Like that's sort of where the worry lies with me. We don't really know what. I mean, I don't particularly know what their agenda is. I don't really know what their intentions are. But to hear that they are quite possibly getting into a political state where they might have like some sort of influence, I guess, is very scary. Where they've got like control over innocent people's lives and shit. It's just it's a little bit scary, right? Like it's a bit spooky, But who knows what should be done? Started with BS and ends with the same. Yeah. Sadly, bullshit in, bullshit out. Am I right? All my statisticians over there. But yeah, like it is. I mean, what is the plan now? If this is the accepted defeat, then it's shit. Yeah, like that's kind of what it seems like as well, right? And is this that? Like, I'd love to know if this is the case, but yeah, very scary stuff, man. Very scary stuff. But okay, so. Thank you everybody for your thoughts, opinions, and feelings there. I appreciate that. I will not. I won't continue on with this one for too long because it's a very upsetting one. But yeah, please do feel free to fire any more comments if you've got any more comments at us or anything like that. Cool.